So basically, to destroy a building, click this little bulldozer down here, and then click the building with the abandoned icon. Oh. This is starting to resemble my Minecraft Let's Play. City Skylines is a city simulator game that doesn't require a constant internet connection. It was released on March the 10th, 2015. While being a Steam game, physical copies do exist and will allow installation without needing to download the whole game. It is playable on Windows, Mac, and Linux operating systems, with an Xbox One release to follow sometime this year. Options. In your graphics options, you'll have your usual display settings with a range of resolutions to choose from, depending on what aspect ratio you've selected. You can play in either windowed or full screen modes. In your preferences, you'll be able to change your color correction override to a range of different colors: temperate, boreal, tropical, and European, as well as depth of field options. And your quality settings will allow you to change your shadows quality or even disable them. Your texture quality, level of detail, shadow distance, anisotropic filtering, and anti-aliasing. In gameplay, you'll find your language selection, your control settings, which allow you to adjust your edge scrolling sensitivity, your camera rotation sensitivity, and even invert the mouse Y-axis. In-game options will allow you to toggle in-game guide pop-ups, auto chirper messages, autosave every 10 minutes by default, which can be changed to suit, use a day-night cycle, and also change your mouse light intensity and dynamic weather. Key mapping will allow you to change your key bindings to suit your every need. Audio settings will allow you to change a range of different audio sources in the game. I recommend muting chirper. And MISC, which will allow you to reset unique buildings and options in the game to default. From the main menu, if you select Tools, you'll be greeted to Map, Asset, and Theme editors. The Map editor will allow you to create maps, terraforming the terrain, adding in assets like plants and animals, even water sources. The Asset editor will allow you to change buildings' colors, and add signs and other things to them. And lastly, the Theme editor will allow you to change colors and textures of a range of things on the map. It's some pretty in-depth stuff. The Content Manager will allow you to quickly and easily view things in the game, such as your maps, save games, assets, color corrections, mods, styles, map themes, and any mods you're currently subscribed to in the Steam Workshop. There is no story in this game, so I made one up for you. Once there was a person, they were called Guaca, and they had the power to build things, which they weren't mentally or financially prepared for, so they started again 4 more times. My first impressions of this game were that it was very similar to SimCity, so when I started playing it like I would when starting a new game in SimCity, I came to the conclusion that this was not SimCity. The playstyle in this seems more conservative and realistic. I soon found myself bankrupt, and quickly going further into the negatives. This happened in another 4 games, and on the 5th try, I finally decided to do the smart thing and pause the game while I was building my infrastructure. Once I got that up and running, I was able to unpause and continue the game. Control-wise, this game has partial controller support, which means if you have a Steam controller, you should be right. I still think the reliable keyboard and mouse combo is the way to go for these types of games though. To each their own. Let's jump into the gameplay elements, so we can get a better understanding and idea of how this game works. We'll start with population. Population will affect milestones, and a majority of the things you can build in the game. For example, after you construct a 2-lane road of any length, you'll be able to build a coal power plant. But you won't be able to build an oil power plant and beyond until you get the required population to do so. Milestones. Milestones are reached when you hit certain population goals, and they allow you to build some cool buildings, and even expand your area. When you reach the last milestone, you'll have reached a total of 9 blocks of land to build on. Pollution. Pollution is seen in the game as that brown color that stains the ground and water over time. If you want to become a healthier society, you can destroy the buildings causing it, and the ground or water will eventually turn back to its natural color. Zones. Zones allow you to designate what buildings are built where, whether it be residential, commercial, or even industrial. The zone button is your guide. You can also rezone zones if you wish to change or upgrade them in the future. Electricity. Electricity can be achieved in many forms in the game. Coal and oil power plants have their advantages, but produce pollution. Wind turbines are more cost-effective, but are required in greater numbers and are a clean source of power. Solar power plants will provide you with great amounts of power during the day. However, at night they become useless. Dams, if placed in the right location, can provide you with a great source of power. However, I would recommend saving before placing them due to their high cost and tricky nature. Nuclear power plants are the best non-unique source of electricity in the game. And lastly, power lines. Power lines will allow you to transfer electricity to places out of reach of electricity sources. Water can be collected either from water towers or water pumping stations. Water drain pipes and water treatment plants will deal with sewage. Be careful not to place your water tower on polluted soil or your water pump too close to a water drain pipe. Please note, you do not have to connect water pipes directly to non-water creating buildings, despite what ping sound you hear when you do. Garbage. Landfill sites and incineration plants are your best ways to deal with garbage. They work well, but can be a bit of a headache if you don't manage them properly. When a landfill site is full, it'll have to be emptied into the incineration plant. As an added bonus, the incineration plant will give you electricity when it's running. Healthcare. Healthcare will give you a medical clinic, hospital, cemetery, for when you want to save money from medical funding, and a crematorium, which is a bit of a disappointment because it doesn't give you any power no matter how much you throw at it. Fire department. In the fire department you'll find a firehouse and a fire station, both of which are possibly the most important buildings in the game. Because the people of the cities I build seem to spontaneously combust buildings at an alarming rate. I wish I was joking. Police department. The police department comes in two flavors as well. The police station and police headquarters. They keep crime low. Education. Primary schools, high schools, and universities will be your main sources for education. Building multiples in an area will divide students up between them. Transport. Transport comes in many different forms. Buses, metro stations, or as I like to call them, subways, trains, both in public and cargo, boats, again in both public and cargo variants, and planes. Decoration. Decoration allows you to place parks, which will increase property values in a certain area of effect when placed, paths, if you have healthy citizens, and trees, which are scaled randomly to give them a more natural look when being placed. Unique buildings. Unique buildings are unlocked as you play. For example, to get the Plaza of the Dead, you need to have 3 full cemeteries. Why go to such extremes to unlock these though? Seems kinda pointless, right? Well, the answer is monuments. Monuments are the creme de la creme of architecture. They're some of the best buildings in the game and require you to unlock specific sets of unique buildings to unlock them. Basically, unlockception. Economy. Economy will allow you to increase or decrease taxes. Increase or decrease your production of things by plus or minus 25%. Increasing this will delegate more money to production, while decreasing this will have the opposite effect. You can also take loans from the bank if you're short on cash. Policies. Policies are one of the most complex mechanics in the game, second only to the damn dam. They allow you to change things like electricity consumption, or even putting in a smoking ban. They can have positive and negative side effects. For example, the power usage policy will lower the amount of power you use. However, it has an upkeep of 5 cents per building. The smoking ban takes a different route. It will increase health but decrease happiness. Which brings me to the conclusion, and to that little blue bird in the top middle of the screen. I didn't even mention it, except for the brief options relating to it. I honestly forgot it existed. That's how much attention I pay to it when I'm playing. It gives you updates about things that you've usually done already or are sorting out. Some aren't even relevant. A simple option to turn it off would go a long way. There was only one other thing I really had an issue with in this game, and that was the way in which districts were made. As far as I can tell, the game only allows you to click on large chunks to designate them residential, etc. Much more control over this would be preferred, especially when it comes to corners. The second you add a corner, all hell breaks loose, and you have to go on a clicking fest to get all the squares highlighted. Because if one's not highlighted, you know you've got problems. Those few issues aside, I feel this can be a very challenging game depending on your playstyle. This is similar to SimCity because that's where it got its inspiration from. It's definitely an improvement if you enjoy a more challenging gameplay style, and it also has a lot more options in terms of buildings. Things like this make it a much more realistic game. It also includes mod support, which brings a lot of replayability to the table. So why not immerse yourself in the best and most challenging city building experience available? Thank you all for watching. I hope you liked the formatting and setting out that I used for this review. It's been my most challenging and detailed one yet. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked it, and subscribe for more. My reviews will be coming out on a bi-weekly basis, so stay tuned.